Hello everyone, welcome back to the new video of AP Knowledge Point. Can a country maintain strong relations with the United States, continue engaging with Ukraine, strengthen ties with Canada, expand cooperation with Europe, deepen its partnership with the UAE, and still claim to follow an independent foreign policy? For decades, many believed this balancing act was impossible. But at the G7 summit 2026, India attempted to demonstrate exactly that. Political experts call this approach strategic autonomy. It is a foreign policy that avoids choosing permanent camps and instead focuses on national interest. Today, we will examine how India used diplomacy to engage with multiple global partners during one of the world's most influential summits. Welcome back to our G7 Summit 2026 series. In the previous episode, we explored the Modi Trump meeting and the expanding India US partnership. Today, we will look at another fascinating aspect of the summit: India's meetings with Ukraine, Canada, the United Kingdom, the European Union, and the UAE. More importantly, we will understand how all these meetings fit into India's broader foreign policy strategy. Let's begin. What is strategic autonomy? Before discussing individual meetings, let's understand the concept itself. Strategic autonomy means that a country makes foreign policy decisions based on its own national interest rather than aligning permanently with any one power bloc. During the Cold War, India followed a policy of non alignment. Today's global environment is different. Instead of staying distant from everyone, India increasingly engages with multiple partners at the same time. It cooperates with different countries on different issues: defense with one nation, technology with another, energy with a third, trade with several others. This flexible approach allows India to expand partnerships while retaining independent decision making. India and Ukraine, the message of peace. One of the summit's closely watched meetings was between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The meeting highlighted India's consistent public position that dialogue and diplomacy remain essential for resolving conflicts. India emphasized that it supports efforts towards peace and humanitarian assistance. The leaders also discussed economic engagement and opportunities for rebuilding commercial cooperation. For India, maintaining communication with all sides reflects its broader diplomatic philosophy. Instead of isolating countries, India has often argued that sustained dialogue creates more opportunities for peaceful solutions. Whether every stakeholder agrees with this approach is another question, but it remains a defining feature of India's diplomacy. Relations between India and Canada, rebuilding momentum. Relations between India and Canada have experienced periods of tension in recent years. Against the backdrop, discussions at the summit carried added significance. According to the summit outline, both countries expressed interest in accelerating negotiations on the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, often called CEPA. A successful agreement could reduce barriers to trade, encourage investment, and strengthen business ties. Economic cooperation often creates opportunities in sectors such as education, agriculture, clean technology, and services. The broader message was that sustained dialogue can help countries move forward even after difficult periods. A question for you: which is more important in international relations, strong friendships or strong national interest? Comment your answers in the comment section. India, the UK, and the European Union. India also held discussions with the leaders from the United Kingdom and the European Union. Trade remained one of the central themes. Reducing barriers to commerce can benefit business, consumers, and investors on all sides. The conversations also reflected growing cooperation in areas such as clean energy, digital innovation, advanced manufacturing, education, and research. For India, expanding partnerships with the Europe supports economic diversification and access to technology. For Europe, India represents a rapidly growing market and an increasingly important strategic partner. India and the UAE, maritime security. Another important discussion focused on the United Arab Emirates beyond trade and investment is maritime security, received particular attention. Why? Because some of the world's busiest shipping routes carry energy supplies and commercial goods through this region. Any disruption can affect oil prices, shipping costs, and global supply chains. India emphasized the importance of secure sea lanes, freedom of navigation, and cooperation to protect maritime commerce. Stable shipping routes are not only important for governments, they also influence fuel prices, inflation, and economic stability around the world. The bigger diplomatic picture. When viewed together, these meetings reveal a consistent pattern. India is seeking to strengthen relationships across multiple regions: North America, Europe, West Asia, and the developing world. Rather than relying on a single partnership, India is building a network of relationships. This approach provides flexibility in a rapidly changing international environment. Supporters argue that it increases resilience. Critics argue that balancing competing interests can become increasingly difficult. Both perspectives highlight the complexity of the modern diplomacy. At the G7 Summit 2026, India demonstrated that diplomacy is no longer about choosing one side over another. It is about building trust, expanding cooperation, and protecting national interests across multiple partnerships. Whether discussing peace, trade, maritime security, or economic growth, India's message remained consistent. Engage widely, act independently, cooperate where interests align. This approach, often described as strategic autonomy, continues to shape India's role in world affairs. In episode 6, we will move beyond diplomacy and examine the global challenges discussed at the summit. Why is the Strait of Hormuz one of the world's most important waterways? How do conflicts in West Asia affect food, fuel, and fertilizer prices? Why are global supply chains becoming more vulnerable? And what solutions did India propose to build a more resilient global economy? See you in the next episode. If you like this video, like it, share it, and comment below. Don't forget to subscribe the channel and to get notified for the new videos, press the bell icon.